Hello, I'm your host, Marcus J. Cage. What I've been thinking with Marcus Cage. In this episode, we're going to get into a wrap up of the debate. I wanted to wait a couple of days so that I can go over some outline information on this, on the whole field, and be able to give you guys a thorough breakdown and fallout of everything that happened during the debate, things I predicted, how they went. Hope you enjoy. Further ado, figure we'll jump straight in. First person that I want to talk about was Amy Klobuchar. Amy Klobuchar is not one of my favorite candidates to talk about, but I felt like it was important to bring her up first. And Saturday Night Live made a very funny parody of the whole shaking and the hair thing. I believe that is a woman who is sensing the pressure of the moment and is hoping that she can connect. I highly don't see any movement from Klobuchar. I see a possibility that she may make the next debate, but if you look at her on-hand cash and her donations that's been going on, I mean that she's been getting so far, Klobuchar is looking very weak. So anybody who's on the team Amy, I expect you should start looking for a new candidate sometime soon. All right, that's enough about Amy Klobuchar. I figure I will jump straight into Andrew Yang next, because Andrew Yang received the lowest amount of talk time for, I don't know, this is, I think, almost every single debate. He might have been the lowest amount. So, and they have people who are polling much lower than him who are getting a lot more talking time. So Andrew Yang decided to tell MSNBC that he is demanding an apology before he'll even go on their network. As him getting that apology, I don't expect it. I think that this will all kind of just pass over in a couple of weeks, and they'll act like nothing even happened, because Yang's not getting an apology. And if he decides to back out anything with MSNBC, it threatens him being able to get more exposure. A candidate like him who is still trying to get his name out there, it would be completely unproductive if he wasn't able to get on all the outlets that he needs to. So I do feel Andrew Yang's pain, because I look at Bernie as getting it 10 times worse than he is, and the same with Tulsi Gabbard. She's getting the same kind of treatment also. So yes, Yang is being unfairly treated and not getting nearly enough talk time to represent his status so far within this race. But I just don't see very much changing. If Andrew Yang struggles to make the next debate stage, that'll give them reason to marginalize him more, and I think that's what they're counting on. So feel bad for Andrew Yang. It's not much that he's going to be able to do, in my opinion. All right, on to my next topic. Elizabeth Warren. Now, in my prediction video, I predicted that Elizabeth Warren should be attacked because of her issues that she had with not being able to answer on Medicare for All, and then the public option plan, which she put out as her transition plan. Also, given a 10-year rollout period and wanting 2 bites at the apple, in a sense, within her first term, and then throwing immigration and all kind of other things on there. And nobody went after her on that. Moderators didn't ask the question about that. And that was very disappointing, because it's been in the media quite often, but it seems like they're just going to ignore that and not worry about it. But I felt like a lot of the people on that stage missed an opportunity to really take it to Warren and have the possibility of gaining some of her supporters. On to the next person who did not receive any pushback in a way which I felt that they deserved, and which I predicted before. I don't think Peter Buttigieg was going to get very much pushback in this one, but I did say that his comeuppance is coming. If you look at what's just recently come out as far as the stuff in South Carolina, if you look at what's been going on in his own city, if you look at the whole police chief thing, a lot of those things are not getting a lot of light, and they're going to come back around. They're just not going to go away. There's also a new video showing Pete Buttigieg out, I believe it was maybe 2010, 2011, where he's making, to me, almost some of the most offensive statements I've heard about minorities and the school systems and things like that. If you haven't checked it out, please look it up. Pete Buttigieg talking about minorities and income inequality. But I mean, even if Pete doesn't get this pushback, anybody who's thinking Pete has a solid chance of becoming the nominee, I want to tell you this: you are insane, absolutely insane. A man who is polling 0% with the black community has no chance of getting the nomination. And stop propping this man up. That's enough. I'll leave that alone, because I guarantee you guys are going to fire me up more later on Pete Buttigieg. Cory Booker. I said Cory Booker was, we don't have to worry about Cory Booker. But I do have to give Cory Booker a lot of credit. He did land a nice punch on Joe Biden. I mean, it's easy to land a punch when you have 15 people around you who are coming up with things for you to say, and you sit and have a couple of months to couch out a narrative or a fight or an argument. But I feel if Booker really wanted to really capitalize off of it, he should have kept hitting him the same way which Tulsi Gabbard did when she attacked Kamala Harris the first time around. She laid out a litany of things over and over and over. So it was too many things for Kamala to be able to push back on, even if she had a legitimate answer, which she does not. I believe the same thing for Biden. You lay a litany of things at him, he's not going to be able to defend them. And reporters are going to have to start digging into it and looking at it if it gets talked about enough on the main debate stage. Us in independent media and Twitter and all these different channels and stuff, we are not going to be the message that's going to get across. It has to go from one of the candidates and has to be talked about on the debate stage. That's the only way you'll get the conversation going outside of left media and outside of just independent journalists who are trying to get these things forced out to the American people so we pay attention to them. Okay, enough on that. Biden, Biden, the new narrative that I've been hearing some of the mainstream media talk about is they've been saying, well, Biden's always had a stuttering problem, or Biden's had gaffe problems. I've watched plenty of debate footage on Joe Biden. And I'm not talking about just the one which everybody raves about, Paul Ryan, or when he, or I think it was maybe Sarah Palin that he debated against. Not those debates. You need to actually go back and go look at Joe Biden in the 70s. Go look at Joe Biden in the early 90s, mid 90s. Joe Biden, in my opinion, was, well, not on policy, they're the same, but he is a whole lot like Obama in his young days. He was able to be very smooth, very personable to people, and that got you to not pay attention to a lot of his policies as much, the same way with Obama. The only problem is he was never quite as smart or eloquent as Obama to be able to pull off the full wool over our eyes, which Obama did. But Joe Biden at this point, I hear some people try to say, oh, well, you should be don't talk about it this way. Joe Biden has cognitive decline, period. This man If we make this man the nominee by next November, the deterioration that has went on with him will be so bad and so far gone. When he's facing Trump, it'll be too late for us to try to pull it back at that point. The man, for one, on policy is horrible and has been horrible. And for any of you older black voters who are out there listening, or potential older black voters, do not vote for this man. Do you not remember the crime bill? Do you not? That alone should be a reason. The fact that he preferred to work with segregationists back in the day, and even in those days, he was still considered a radical. He was still considered a hard right Democrat. Joe Biden has never moved from that. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, he's part of the Obama coalition. No, he is not. The only reason why Joe Biden was selected as vice president was to shore up the white vote, not the black vote, the white vote. And Obama picked him because he was trying to, brace the impact for white voters who would not vote for a black president. Any of you guys that don't see that as reality need to go back and look at this man's record and look at what he actually added. What states did he add? What people did he add? Joe Biden added white people to make them feel comfortable voting for a black president. That's it. Joe Biden needs to, if the candidates aren't going to be strong enough or have the nerve to go after them, then us out here need to start having these conversations with other voters, particularly boomers. I know a lot of this whole okay boomer and millennial fight or whatever, but boomers, what you're not getting is this is a terrible candidate. And you guys are not doing the research you should. You guys are our parents, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles. It makes no sense that me, as an older millennial, should be teaching you what is going on because you are not paying attention. You need to start paying attention, and you need to start doing your due diligence as a citizen when you vote to be informed. I'll get off my tangent. I don't want to upset people who might feel like, well, I had this going on and that going on. Me personally, I don't care about that because I believe these people affect every part of our life. If you spend more time worrying about ESPN than the people who are affecting the paychecks that you collect, then there's something wrong with you. If you feel like it's more important to pay attention to home and garden than pay attention to what's going on with the homelessness and crime and things in your area, I don't know what's wrong with you. Or maybe you just live too good where you don't see the same things which I'm seeing. Most of my friends, family, viewers, and other lefties who are complaining about. I guess, I'll finish this out with what I believe is going to happen from now into the next debate. Sadly, I feel because nobody actually took any major attacks against Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg, they'll still hang around and have the time to be able to strengthen and hold on to their base when their base should be wishy-washy at this point. They should have a little bit of doubt and be almost second guessing. Do I really support Buttigieg? Do I really support Warren? Can they really beat Trump? And the answer for both of them is no. Absolute no. If you put Buttigieg up and he becomes a nominee, you lose the black vote and you get the same problem that happened with Hillary. You put Elizabeth Warren up, you get no independents, you get no Republicans, and you get no new voters coming out. You end up in the same dynamic as Hillary Clinton, the same dynamic as 2016 with Hillary Clinton, because what you need to do is you have to bring out new voters, independents, get Republicans. And the only time that we've done that recently was Obama. Obama got out new turnout. Obama didn't win by going to get a bunch of moderate Republicans. That's not how you win. So, Democrats, independents, anybody out there who's looking at voting for anybody but Trump, you got to actually look at which candidates have a lane to winning. I don't like Joe Biden, but Joe Biden has a lane because he's built up enough name ID and he will get enough uninformed voters who'll feel like, oh, well, he was there with Obama. But it's not certain that he will win. If you're playing a video game, when you play the video game and it's your first time playing, you're normally going to go and find the character who has the best attributes, because normally that's the most powerful or the best choice. Right now you have a candidate who has 4 million voters. 4 million donations so far. More than any other candidate. Also has the highest favorability of any elected official. Has more campaign donors. Has more cash on hand. And has even raised more cash than Donald Trump. That man is Bernie Sanders. The only one who is increasing turnout for the Democratic Party. So I just want you to kind of keep that in mind before, keep that in mind as I go into my little predictions. The next debate. Of course, we know Biden will make it. Of course, we know Warren will be there. Buttigieg has plenty enough money and polling high enough. He'll be there. Bernie will be there. Now to the ones who may or may not be there. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard may or may not be there. Which I think it's sad if she doesn't make the stage, but I felt that she didn't take advantage of the opportunities on stage in a more effective manner. When Buttigieg came after her, when she made the comment about him taking troops into Mexico, and then she starts going into this meeting with other leaders. When he threw in his snarky little comment, well, like Donald Trump and Donald Trump and Kim, what she should have said, instead of rolling on with what she had in her mind, she should have stopped and addressed him right at that moment. She should have said, yes, exactly like Trump and Kim. See, what you don't get, Mayor Pete, is as a leader, there's only a couple of options. Either you meet and you try to find terms you can work on, you do nothing, or you end up in war. Now, having the you need to come and kiss my ring mentality first before you get anything done is the dumbest and stupidest way of getting anything done. That's the Hillary Clinton way. That's the Pete Buttigieg way. That's the Kamala Harris way. You don't get anywhere by cussing out and trash talking people that you have to meet with. This is dumb. And people, we need to start calling this out. You need to start talking to your family members. And when they hear this, oh, well, she met with Assad. Yes, we all should meet with Assad. So freaking what? Because she doesn't call him the most horrible names in the world. Answer me this. When they call people dictators and when they call them all these slurs or slams or whatever names they want to call them, what change does it have? What effect does it have? How does it help foreign policy at all? Please, if somebody can explain that to me, then I'll jump on the bandwagon and say, Tulsi, you need to call them up, whatever. But until somebody can explain to me how calling somebody a name helps foreign policy, then please, please, please drop it. And don't waste my time with the Assad or the Modi crap. I don't want to hear it. Cory Booker. I do not see Cory Booker making the debate stage next time around, nor Julian Castro. And I believe that those two by January, will definitely be out of the race. Along with Klobuchar. I think Klobuchar is at the end of the road. Steyer. I do not see Steyer making the stage the next time around unless he somehow pays his way on the stage. Bloomberg will make the stage just because of his money alone. Deval Patrick will not make the stage. I think he's going to sit and float around in oblivion, kind of like Delaney is doing right now, or Bennett, I think he's still in there, or even like Marianne Williamson. She's still in the race, by the way, but I'm sorry, there's no lane for her. I expect on this next time around, because Yang called them out, you will see Yang get a lot more speaking time, just to try to cover things over as a kind of apology, but not apology, because then I don't see them actually coming out giving him a formal apology. And let's see, what else do I expect that because there's been so many complaints about no pushback on Mayor Pete, I think that the moderators are going to the next time around, the moderators will have to bring up the questions. Now, whether they actually hit anybody on them or actually take the opportunities is a different story. But I think because of the fact that they didn't bring it up before, they're almost going to be forced to now. I guess that's all I have for you on this video. I got a couple of interviews I got an interview that I'm working on editing for you guys, and I'll have it up as soon as I can. I might try to cut it into pieces, or I might just leave it as the full, long, roughly 2-hour interview. Also, I have, let's see, one announcement that I wanted to make. In light that the holidays are coming up, I just want to do my well wishes to everyone out there, that you guys have a very happy Thanksgiving, that you're able to spend it with loved ones, that you guys are all able to have peace for the holidays and health. I'll end it there. Like, share, comment, ring the bell. You guys know what to do. Have a good one. Almost forgot. It was one thing that I forgot to bring up that I wanted to talk about that was very important about the debate, that was the biggest part of the debate, in my opinion. Moderators. Though I felt one of the moderators, the Washington Post moderator, did an okay job, and she did ask some good questioning. The questions that came from the MSNBC side, from Kristen Welker, Andrea Mitchell, and Rachel Maddow especially, were horrendous. Literally every question that Rachel Maddow asked had Trump in it. Also, I noticed that the moderators, the way they asked the questions, didn't make very much sense. For instance, they're asking Yang about Putin and Russia and what he would say on a phone call. For one, it's a dumbass question. Why would you ask that? Why does that matter? You're wasting time. There's too many people on the stage for you to be asking dumbass questions. For two, MSNBC, we all know how they feel about impeachment. We all know how they feel about abortion. We all know how they feel about guns for the most part. Stop asking the same questions over and over, for one. For two, stop asking questions we already know the answers to. There's a lot of differences between these candidates, and the moderators are not doing a good job showing these differences, or at least letting the debates materialize to be able to have these debates. Also, there's just far too many questions. If you're going to have this many people on stage, you need to limit down the questions. There's no reason why only Kamala should get a question, or Booker and Biden got this question, but nobody else gets this question. if we want to have a better debate, the best way is to let everybody have a say so and everybody be able to talk on these issues so we can hear everybody's point of view on each of the issues. I guess the moderator part slipped my mind because they've been so bad repeatedly every single debate. It's just this debate, in my opinion, was probably the worst. The way they set it up, in my opinion, it looked as if they were trying to make sure to diffuse certain conflicts or keep the potential of them happening and start particular ones which they wanted to start. For instance, they completely set it up for Kamala Harris to go after Tulsi Gabbard. I felt that, to those of you who buy into the whole Russia narrative and all that silliness, you guys might have felt that she landed a solid punch. To me, I feel it's stupid, and it shows the stupidity of Kamala Harris and those people who support that position. But nonetheless, it matters how it affects the polls, and regardless of if I know it's stupid, and most of you guys know that it's a stupid point of view, these people are still buying into this like this is High School Mean Girls, and they need to be on one side and yell, "You're bad, you're stupid," and they think that matters. I've already went off on that before again, so I'll try not to get onto another tangent on that. But I just wanted to come back and talk about the moderators. I felt that I would be doing you an injustice in talking about the debate and not bringing up how piss poor and terrible they are. Very good reason why Rachel Maddow is losing a lot of our viewers. I am one of those viewers she has lost. I think it's time for Andrea Mitchell to retire. Kristen Welker, you're never gonna be. And I think they're all terrible. MSNBC needs to do a much better job, and Washington Post also. Thank you.